In this video, I just wanted to go over one of the projects that we completed in London Bridge. So we converted this 1-bedroom apartment into 2 bedrooms. So the purchase price of this apartment was £330,000. So I just want to go through what we did, how we did it, and let you know what the valuation was after 6 months of ownership. So let's get into it. So the apartment in London Bridge, we reconfigured and we refurbished. So it was a 1-bedroom apartment. We moved the kitchen into the living room to create an open plan kitchen diner, and we changed the kitchen into a bedroom. So we went from having a 1-bedroom apartment to having a 2-bedroom apartment. Just want to show you the floor plan so you can see what the layout of the apartment was before, and also what the layout was after the reconfiguration and refurbishment. So let's go through the floor plans. So this was the floor plan when we purchased the apartment. As you can see, it was a pretty good size. It was nearly 56 square meters. As you walk in, it had a separate toilet. So this is the toilet as you enter the apartment on the right hand side. In front of this toilet was a space, like an airing cupboard. This was the existing bathroom. Again, this was, I think they must have had some leftover red paint and decided to paint this kind of red as well. They had this, paneling that was quite fashionable at a point in time. They had a big water heater in this area. Again, this is the bathtub and this decorative tiling. So this is the bedroom as you walk in. As you can see, the apartment was very tired, very dated. This was actually a probate property. So the picture that you're seeing next is a picture of living room / reception room. What we did in this instance was to remove the fireplace, remove these inbuilt cabinets, and we actually had the kitchen go across underneath the window area. And then we changed the kitchen, which you can see this green door that's leading into the kitchen into a bedroom. This was the kitchen. The kitchen was very tired, very dated as well. I'm not sure how long it'd been in this condition. I'm just going to show you the floor plans of what it looked like once we completed the renovation. So this was the floor plan once the reconfiguration was completed. We moved the kitchen into the reception area to create an open plan kitchen diner. The kitchen went along the window to create an open plan kitchen diner. Now this room was, a fairly decent size. It's got a sofa, and also it's got quite a big table here on the left hand side. So again, we dropped the ceiling, put a suspended ceiling in, put in the spotlights, smoke alarms and heat detectors as well. And again, we staged the apartment and we changed the kitchen into a bedroom. So the next picture is a picture of the original bedroom. Put in a suspended ceiling and we put in spotlights just to bring in a lot more light to the apartment. We had new flooring, new architrave. So the next picture is a picture of the bathroom. And we actually put in another toilet in here. The existing bathroom didn't have a toilet. It had a sink where you can see this toilet. We actually put in a macerator system. And the final photo is showing you the original toilet. So as you entered, so you refurbished the original toilet, but also what we did was we kind of knocked the wall in between, and we actually managed to squeeze in a shower. So this is how we added value to this apartment. It was originally only a 1-bedroom apartment. So it went from being a 1-bedroom apartment to being 2-bed, 2-bath. Just wanted to talk about how I found this apartment. So I was actually contacted by Foxtons in London Bridge. I had made friends with one of the guys that worked there, and whenever something came on, he would call me. He had the brief in terms of, the things that we look for. So whenever something came on or, matched the brief, he would call me. So on this occasion, he called me and said, "Hi Rav, I've got this 1-bedroom apartment. It's in a great location. It's got a separate kitchen, which you guys look for. It's probate. Do you want to come and have a look? And I was like, yeah, sure. So that's how I managed to kind of secure this particular property. It was through building a relationship with someone that worked at Foxtons, who, you know, I subsequently became friends with. This was the quickest way to purchase this apartment. You know, a lot of people think that bridging is expensive, but it has, you know, lots of advantages as well. You can do, you know, multiple projects at the same time, and it also means that you don't have to raise you know, so much money from investors. So what we tend to do is we buy on a bridge, short-term loan, and after having held the property for 6 months, we tend to refinance onto a buy-to-let mortgage. So remember I said we kind of purchased this property for £330,000, and after 6 months we had a buy-to-let offer on the property, and a surveyor came around, had a look at the property, and I'm now going to show you what the valuation report came back with. The valuation came back at £450,000. So, you know, the purchase price was £330,000. Having owned the apartment for 6 months, that went up to you know, £450,000. Now, that was from a buy-to-let mortgage lender who tend to be a bit more conservative when it comes to, you know, you refinancing onto buy-to-lets. Okay, so on screen you'll be seeing a slide that goes through the numbers in detail. So the purchase price was £330,000. The stamp duty that was due was £16,400. The legal fees were £3,226. The bridging costs, £27,000. Refurbishment costs, £26,850. Furniture and other costs, about £7,000. So the total costs were £404,000. As mentioned before, we refinanced onto a buy-to-let mortgage, and the valuation was £450,000. The money left in on this particular project was £61,000. The rent per annum is about £21,600, and based on a purchase price of £330,000 gives us a gross yield of 6.55%. The rent was £21,600, the mortgage payments £13,000, the net is £8,411. So which gives a return on investment of 14%. So just to compare how a normal buy-to-let investor, I'm just going to go through this slide here. So if we look at the GDV, so the flat was worth, you know, £450,000. If a normal buy-to-let investor had purchased that, they would have had to have put down a deposit of £112,500. That's 25% of the purchase price. The stamp duty would have been £26,000, one set of legal fees, roughly £1,350, and we've included furniture of £4,000 just because we furnish our apartments. So in terms of the total costs, they would have been in for £143,850. Again, the rent has remained the same, £21,600, and based on the purchase price of £450,000 gives a gross yield of 4.8%, and that gives a return on investment of 6%. So, you know, it's a big difference. I mean, what this multiple number is showing you is that we can actually buy 2.34, nearly for every one apartment a normal buy-to-let investor buys in London in this location, we can buy nearly 2.5 apartments. So in this example, you know, a normal buy-to-let investor, they would be in for £143,000. So we would actually only be in for £62,000. So that's why we like these projects in London. You know, we like London. We also invest outside of London, but we like London for the capital appreciation and for the long-term growth. So normally we tend to put these apartments on a 5-year fix. at which point in 5 years time we'll remortgage onto another buy-to-let product. So I hope you like this video. I'm going to do lots more videos and show you some of the other projects that we have completed in London. If you've got any questions or if you've got any comments, please comment down below, and I will try and respond to as many as I possibly can. Thanks, bye.